the link in the description and support the podcast.
I believe he could have stopped him. Now, that fight fell through and all that's gone wrong now. And the media, they're giving Joshua like so much stick. They're giving him a lot of stick. And I'm just like, I'm starting to realize that this is a popularity contest. It's not based on talent and achievements.
No. Yeah,
because Tyson, you know, he lost. No, but he lost, you know, to arguably one of the greatest cruiserweights of all times in Evander Holyfield, who used to pack on muscle to get to heavyweight. And Tyson lost to my man twice, to where he had to, you know, he bit his ear on purpose.
But that was Tyson's decline, man. Tyson wasn't the man at that point.
But even in his prime, though, because, you know, he was 87, was it? That's the year I was born. Or was it 89 when he fought Buster Douglas? He didn't give him no
89.
rematch.
Yeah.
Talk to me. We can break this thing down, because you can line up 10 man and I can KO them aggressively and make myself.
Tony Tucker? You remember that Tony Tucker fight?
That was a good fight.
That was a proper fight, man.
But I'm saying every time he was supposed to win, he lost. Let's have the conversation. Every time Tyson was supposed to win, he lost. But he's hailed, and I rate Tyson, but he's hailed as this. I mean, don't get it twisted, people. I'm not in any way, shape, or form comparing Joshua to Tyson. I'm just saying, what is the difference? One lost to the generation's best cruiserweight. The other one lost to a generation's best cruiserweight. Matter of fact, Usyk is actually more technical than Holyfield, if we want to talk.
Yes.
If we want to talk.
Good point.
My man done better with Usyk than Tyson did with Evander Holyfield. Why is one hailed as a killer, but the other one isn't? And
because he's in the brains of the beast, not the belly of the beast.
There you go. And then let's mix this up little as well, no, because we're gonna break. I'm chilling today. I'm chilling. You can fool. What did Bob Marley say? You can fool some of the people some of the time.
Yes.
But you ain't gonna be able to fool all of the people all of the time. So you see TNT Sports and all these big channels that are promoting Tyson Fury versus Ngannou, talking about how Tyson's training Ngannou. Let me just debunk this real quick. Why would you bring in Mike Tyson to fight, to help you get ready for Tyson Fury? How does that even make sense? Tyson struggled with taller fighters, skilled taller fighters. I got my receipts. Got my receipts right here. How are you bringing in the man who Lennox Lewis jabbed his head off and stopped him aggressively? Lennox done that to Tyson, and people will say, "Well, Tyson was, you know, he was past it." But so what? Lennox was in his prime at the time.
No.
Look what Lennox done with him. So how's he gonna train a man to face Tyson Fury? Like this is it's weird what people.
It's foolish. It's marketing.
Yeah, marketing 101.
Marketing. Exactly. It would have made better sense for Tyson Fury to have Mike Tyson, who he was named after, to be doing the thing, not the other way around. And as you've highlighted, Tyson was a brawler. He was an inside man. He wasn't. Francis. Come on, he's not going to be able to angles. You reckon Francis Ngannou is going to be able to pull off those angles that Tyson could do back in the day?
No, you can't teach. You can't teach boxing in 6 months. You can't teach that. You just can't do it. So, you know, it's all about. We've said it from day one. It's all about money, which of course, money is. You know, everyone needs money, and as the Americans say, if it makes dollars, it makes sense. But then just call it that. Then stop trying to market this as a competitive fight, because it's not competitive. It's not.
Well, all right then. Since you brought that element up, let's give me your quick breakdown of how this is. The two ways how this is going to go down. That fight between Fury and Ngannou.
It goes any way Fury wants it to go. Anyway, if he wants to stop him in the first round, he does that. If he wants to carry him for 3-4 rounds, he does that. If he wants to make it a spectacle, he can do that. And people are getting it twisted. Seeing my man KOing man in them small gloves is very different to doing that in boxing gloves.
Very different.
I remember in MMA, you're KOing man up close, where you're able to get a better swing with them gloves. You got better movement. Yeah. You're able to land flush. You can do that in boxing, but you have to set up your shots.
Yes.
Whereas in MMA, certain spots, it just becomes an all-out brawl. So that's what happened. Was it Stipe? What's his name, Noble?
Stipe Miocic.
Stipe Miocic. If you look at that fight, my man, that Stipe, he tried to engage for a minute. You don't do that. When he tried to do that and Ngannou caught him, he felt the power, but at the time he was dazed now.
Yeah.
So Ngannou just dealt with him horrible after that.
It was very different the first fight, though, because obviously we're going back as some time still, but their first fight, Ngannou caught him at least maybe 3 or 4 times. Flush, man. Proper caught him. But, you know, he had his age wasn't up there as much, so he could absorb that punishment, and he beat him. He beat him, but, you know, times change. People get old. Father time, as everyone says in combat sports, father time is what?
Undefeated.
Undefeated, sibling. You already know the thing, man.
And these are the facts. But I just wish a lot of these journalists, when it comes to Joshua, any man who you load up with 20, 30 million every time he steps out his yard to fight, of course that hunger will die. You can't be no killer. Yeah, exactly. You can't be no killer jumping out no private jet. Like, if you look at the most violent places on planet Earth, there's usually poverty with it.
Exactly.
Controlled violence is different to uncontrolled violence. There's a lot of violence that is done by the hands of these big nations, but you don't see it. What they're doing is devastation, but you don't see it. But when it's poverty, you see it up close and personal. Joshua's left that poverty line long time. You can't expect him to be that same aggressive style fight. You just can't do it. I remember when he took the KO, everyone was making excuses, and this is why I said at the time, people shouldn't make excuses. He lost fair and square, because what you do then, it's like he fights scared now. He fights scared. It's like he knows that he could get knocked out. So he fights scared, but I just think the media are being a bit harsh on him. That's all I'll say. They're being a bit harsh. He definitely has to fight Wilder next, because the Saudis, Noble, are giving out paydays that you'll never get ever again in life. They're willing to pay Joshua in December £70 million.
That doesn't even make any sense.
This is what I'm trying to say. Why would he not? Of course he's going to jump in him, even if you get KO'd in 2 rounds. 70 million is beautiful money, and the Saudis are paying money. It's almost out there right now. I say they're ruining sports. A man said to me, nah, they're not. But when you're seeing a player leaving the field and a journalist is putting a brand new Rolex on his wrist, that shows you the kind of money that is being played within them regions. And this is what I broke this down all before. The Saudis, the oil's flowing, but it won't be needed in a minute. It's not going to be required. Listen, people, an electric car is registered every minute in the UK. Them people don't operate on here and now. They operate on the next 100 years.
This is the thing.
They operate on the next 50 years. They know.
Their bets, man.
Yeah, they know that it's all over. So what they're doing is bringing the spectacles and bringing the money to the region. And it's a beautiful thing, and they've been very successful in doing so. You only have to look at Dubai. Let's look at Dubai. In the 1970s or 60s or 50s, whichever one it was, there was a picture. They had like 3 planes.
Yeah, that little airport.
They had 3 planes. You go to Dubai Airport today, you've never seen so much A380s in your life.
Yes,
They're like buses. They're like black cabs. You go to the super malls. All of that was done with a view for the same reason that we all go there now. To look at the spectacle they've created. Universal Studios is opening up there. You know what that now does? It eliminates people having to go to Florida from this side of the world.
Yes.
So now you go to Dubai to go there. They're bringing all the big sporting events. They're bringing all the stuff to the Middle East. This is something that was in motion before we were born. But they understand, the mission starts with me, but it'll be my grandson that finishes it.
Yeah.
My grandson that ain't even born yet. That's how that region of the world think. They think that way, which is, you're damn right, that's how you're supposed to think. Long term.
Big picture thinking.
And that's it. And that's why this is all going on now. That's why you see the Saudis, because what they're doing, Noble, in December, they're doing a heavyweight. They're putting all these fights on one card. Fury v. Usyk. Joshua v. Wilder. And they're gonna have other fights, and they can pay. They can spend 100 and make back £1 because the money's there like that. This is what I'm saying. And when people keep talking about the actual region itself, where they're not quite welcoming to certain lifestyles. When it comes to women, they have a certain way of how they, how they do things. The press tried to go down that route. You remember? And tried to get them that way. Like, look what they're doing, but they've shown you that money defeats all, because them same people are going there to watch these sports now. They don't care. You don't even.
WWE is heavy over there.
Heavy
weights.
Heavy. Golf, F1, football. You know what I mean? Because bringing that region understands that it has to bring itself up. You know what someone said to me the other day? A Jamaican living in Jamaica. It goes, we must be top 3 tourist destinations. I said, you're not even top 3 in the Caribbean. How about that? Oh, nah, what do you mean? I said, Google this stuff. This is what I'm saying. Yes, it might appear like that to you, but the real nations are building for the future. They're not building for the here and now. And the reason they're paying Joshua and them all this money to just get them over there. And that's it. And that's why you see it happening. But at the start, when I was saying all this stuff, people was like, nah, you're wrong. And you always talk like you got the inside scoop. No, I don't. All you have to do is look.
Look.
You saying no, but what are you saying?
Look at the trends, look at history, and say, well, it seems that we're clearly going in another direction. Oh, they've got Yas Island, they got the World Palms, they got this development going, they got this development going, they got that development going. The crash happens, building stops for a bit, and then it continues again. There's clearly a plan. Like, should we rely on just digging out crude oil and selling this for making all this money? Or should we look to the future, as Mark says? Should we look at actually maybe we've got a lot of land that we could develop here and turn this into an actual tourist destination? And then outside of that, what else can we do? Let's bring sports over here as well. Let's do everything, man. Let's do the WWF/WWE. Let's talk to Vince McMahon. Let's get them over. Dash a couple mil at them. That's nothing. The numbers, they could say anything. We'll give you 200 billion to come over here and do an event.
You see it?
They've got so much money. It's inconsequential. And also, just thinking about it as well. No, these are digits on a computer that just gets typed.
That's it.
Yeah. These are just digits that we're dealing with, man. Man ain't got no gold bullion bars that they're rolling up with the big trucks and all that. Here you go. Here's for that thing. No, man, these are little digits and stuff. But it's a real interesting time, man. I mean, people are making the ridiculous amounts of money. What I would like to see is, I like to see people, get what they're due. But let's see some philanthropy taking place. Let's see Anthony Joshua coming back to his neighborhoods and actually, putting in some of that damn work and giving back to the community which raised him. Let's see Tyson Fury doing that with his traveler community and wherever else he's based. All these people making these big paydays. It's wonderful for y'all, but what are you doing for the greater good?
1,000.
We've got so many millionaires, multi-millionaires, billionaires, trillionaires, and all that, but you go there more than I do. Brum's hurt, boss. Most major cities are hurt, man.
Brum's it's bad. It's bad. We definitely, when I say it's bad, I mean just a lot of liberties are being taken with the city. As far as they're taking liberty, like they're messing around. And what I'm talking about is the higher ups. We're not talking about the low level crime and stuff like that. We're on about infrastructure is wrong as well.
Yes.
But, you got to be in the room to have them discussions. But then quickly going back to Fury, yeah, he's got a series on Netflix, Noble.
Okay.
I would encourage you to watch this. Like, I'll tell you the truth. Anyone can say whatever they want about who he chooses to fight and all that stuff. But one thing you can't say, the man ain't forgot his people. He ain't forgot his culture.
Yeah, man.
And he hasn't forgot his people. Like that series right there, man need to watch it. And it shows you, that Fury's a serious brother,
Oh, yeah, there's no disputing
forget the actual fighting and all of that. Like, that's the biggest fight you'll ever have, maintaining a family unit. And he loves his culture to the core. He loves it to the core. Like being a gypsy, like he absolutely, like he even tries to show his children live in a massive house, don't want for nothing. They probably never will want for nothing. And he still makes a point to take them back to the traveler site. Family is a big thing to him. And black athletes need to be doing the same. That's why with Terrance Crawford, I always say, look at his family, and even right now, he's being attacked for the looks because his wife's like a BBW, and he's being attacked.
Whoa, sibling. You serious?
Yeah, man. There's a guy here who started this thing, Noble, and don't get it twisted. I've watched some of his videos, and that he's quite, he's a bit funny at points, but. His name's Tyan Booth, the guy. I don't know if you've come across him. Have you come across this guy?
No.
Like a mixed race brother from Sheffield. Or no, a mixed race brother from Nottingham.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my man kind of started something a couple years back where he was like, should a championship boxer's wife look the way Crawford's wife looks? Because like I said, she's a BBW. But
and what's wrong with that?
I mean, me and there's nothing wrong with that. His wife's beautiful, his family's beautiful. But people will always have a problem with a black man, choosing a black wife. And especially when he chooses a black wife that don't fit the narrative that's put out there. Because one thing I hate is when people say a 10 out of 10. Because what is a 10 out of 10? A 10 out of 10 is what you see as a 10 out of 10. What your 10 out of 10, Noble, is different to my 10 out of 10. My 10 out of 10 is different to everyone's 10 out of 10 isn't these BBLs and these girls with nothing but plastered makeup on and all this fake eyelash, fake this, fake that, everything. That ain't man's 10 out of 10. Some of us love a natural sister. And when I say a natural sister, I don't mean earthy or nothing like that. I just mean a sister who's naturally black and beautiful.
And is comfortable in her skin, man, and who
Yeah.
can accentuate her beauty, i.e., I'll put a little bit of mascara on. How's that? You know what I mean? How's that noble? Yeah, man. I'll put a little bit of lip gloss on or something like that. You know what I mean? The little eyeliner thing. Okay, I ain't got a problem with that, man, because you're enhancing your beauty. You got these Decepticons out here, sibling. Decepticons who look nothing like how they look on the Instagram. Nothing how they look when you see them on. You think, oh, they've got a bit of makeup on, and that thing comes off. Their complexion's totally different. Their nose is going to be bigger because they do this contouring thing. The cheekbones, which you thought they were there, were drawn the hell on. It's like, oh, yo, I'm going to get you soccer. Yeah? You remember that scene?
Yeah.
You text the girl home. I got something to tell you. These ain't real. She's pulling off titties. She's got one leg, you know what I mean? Wig, all this kind of stuff. That was a comedy. I think, was it 1989 that came out? We're in 2023, and we've got people actually living that, putting a total lie in people's face, and expecting, the male to be all cool with that. Deception, boss. Deception rules this world at the moment, man. 10-10. What's as you say? 10 a 10. There's no such thing as a 10-10.
No such thing.
No
such thing. What's beauty? And remember, this is a woman. A lot of men don't know about this type of growth. A lot of men don't understand this type of unit because they've never seen it. But when you look at Crawford, his wife, you can tell she's held him down. Just like, all right, let's take it away from a black family. Let's talk about Fury, because his family's out there on Netflix. And when you look at his family, yeah, he's got his white gypsy wife, who to him is, that means the world to him. But you can tell she's held him down. When you can look at a man and see, even if this brother was a cleaner, she'd still be married to him. When you meet a woman like that, you're supposed to, you're supposed to lock in, because you may not meet another one like that. And what I'm saying with Crawford's wife, you can see she's that. And the man's got 5 children, and you see what I mean? Like, come on, man. And you can see his sisters, his mom, he's from reality. He's from the real world. He's a real individual, but people are not used to seeing a real individual. They're not used to seeing someone who embraces. That's how far gone a lot of black people are. Because if you look at, like, most people are used, like someone like that Tyson Booth, he's used to seeing these jet black Africans come to the UK and they got Snow White. The only thing missing is 7 dwarves. Whereas when they see a man like Crawford, who he's got his black queen, she don't fit the stereotypical look that they expect. They expect you to be with a video vixen. That's not what the brother wants. The brother's got his queen, and he don't care what anyone thinks. And it's just sad that a lot of black people have fell that low, that they're not used to seeing that. They're not used to seeing that. See what I mean? So they attack it. And someone like, that's why, with all due respect, I'm not disrespecting nobody. I have to say that. But that's why I don't like the one drop rule. I think it's a dangerous, it's a dangerous thing to do, to push. Because that Tyson Booth, he clearly don't understand the importance of that family unit. And, that family unit, you can see the success. You can see success happening before his children have even left his home.
Exactly.
And that's based on the family unit. And that's it. And I would say that probably if you take that woman out of his life, he probably wouldn't even be undisputed right now.
Man, that's the point where he was, where he is now.
This is what I'm saying.
Let's be straight, man. Having a woman who's there throughout the thick and the thin can be like the yin and the yang. Let's use that symbology. That's what it's all supposed to be about. It's not about the visual lustification of, yeah, she's going to the surgery again next week. We're putting another 10 cc's into the titties and stuff. Huh? Well, come on, man. Like, how about not being so weak, wicked, and dastardly, and say, you know what? We got this brother, and he's bucking the trend. Most of these champions have these Latino or maybe possibly Afro-Latino women or Caucasian women. But this guy, he's got himself, a black woman. She doesn't like, she's had all kind of surgery and stuff. She's a bit rotund, BBW, quote unquote. Like, that's refreshing. That's out of the ordinary. Now let's get into the personal thing, because, well, on these weirdo side, I don't necessarily like women who look like that. But more power to this guy. How about making some content like that? Oh no, we can't do that though, Mark, can we? We gotta be weak, wicked, nasty, and disgusting.
You see it? Here's what I'm saying, man. It's very important, and what a lot of people don't seem to realize, and this is an analogy that I like using right now. Life is a train, and you're the driver, and the people in the carriages are the people that you have in your life. So carriage one might be your family, your closest friends, your partner. Carriage two might be your work friends, your associates, whatever. Carriage three might be this. Now it's for you at each stop to look on that train and say, yo, these people ain't doing, they're not bringing nothing to this train, which is my life. Yo, this is the stop they need to get off. And eventually that train will reach its final destination, which is death. But you're the driver. You're in control of who's on that journey with you. And this is what I'm saying. A lot of men make mistakes in who's on that journey with them. See what I mean? There's a lot of people on that train who shouldn't be on it.